you make specific reference to truck driving and the fact that there are going to be these automated cars on the roads. So would you, Tucker Carlson, be in favor of restrictions on the ability of trucking companies to use this sort of technology specifically to, sort of artificially maintain the number of jobs that are available in the trucking industry?
Are you joking? In a second. In a second. And I maybe would make up some pretext for public consumption, like, oh, they're dangerous. The technology is not quite finessed. No. But the truth would be, I don't want to put 10 million men out of work because you're going to have 10 million dead families, and the cascading effect from that will wreck your country.
Based. Cenk, your 2 cents.
Ben looked really young there.
Well, it was a long time ago. That was in 2018.
Yeah. So guys, the AI apocalypse is coming. And so now I'd say, look, I don't know that I want to tell you that Tucker's right, but he has been right a couple times lately. And vis-a-vis Ben Shapiro, it gets a lot easier. Way more right than Ben Shapiro. And so, but the key now is, why was he right all the way back then? What are we seeing today that is problematic? And the hardest of all, what can we do about it?
Well, look, what we're seeing today is that Tucker Carlson has been consistent on this issue. That video dates back to 2018, where he makes it abundantly clear that he would pass regulations that would ban AI from putting people out of a job in the trucking industry. And I'm happy to report that just recently he put out his newsletter and focused on this very topic, and he's been consistent. So here's what he has just published. This was from his newsletter published today, Thursday, February 5th. Blow up the data centers? I'm listening. So
don't blow anything up.
Carlson really does argue that the military, in case you're wondering, does Carlson really argue that the military should blow up AI centers to smithereens? It seems like yes, that is the case, but why? Well, he begins with a recent story involving the Amazon layoffs. And we did cover the previous round of Amazon layoffs. There's been a new round of layoffs. 16,000 corporate employees were recently fired. And Carlson writes about that, saying, to be clear, the firings would be equally heartbreaking if they happened to be blue collar workers. These terminations are particularly significant, however, because they punish the people who were supposed to be safe from AI. Look, no one is safe from AI, with the exception of people who work the trades, like carpenters, plumbers. Those are important jobs, and you can't automate them. But anyway, for now, I hope that's the case forever. But anyway, America's ruling class, he writes, has spent decades telling the public they can avoid the consequences of automation and offshoring by going to college, getting degrees, and learning the trades of a desk job. And by the way, that is true, right? The whole argument has been go to college, have a career. I mean, you're untouchable, knowledge is power. And it turns out, no, I mean, AI, these technological advancements are leading to layoffs of both blue collar workers and white collar workers. So Carlson argues that the elites have gone back on that promise and look no further than the many CEOs who have warned that artificial intelligence will absolutely wipe out jobs, white collar jobs in particular. And Carlson has 2 solutions to this issue. Option number 1, regulate the artificial intelligence industry. Stunt its obviously demonic development, prohibit companies from firing workers and replacing them with computers, and ban self-driving, he says, trucks. I would like to ban self-driving cars, period. I don't think that they're useful. I get it, some of you don't like to drive, tough nuggets, okay, get over it, be an adult. And if you don't want to drive, take public transportation and shut your mouth. I'm not really interested in watching self-driving vehicles all over my neighborhood, all over the streets. I don't like it.
I'm gonna disagree with you in a minute.
Of course you are, because you don't like to drive. But if you don't like, you live anyway, you don't even have to deal with my commute. I have to deal with the commute.
I don't have to deal with her commute.
Okay, I deal with the commute.
And I'm still talking.
I deal with the commute.
Okay, all right, we'll get back to that.
But anyway, so he also writes, yes, any of those moves could go against the strict enforcement of the cherished free market, but public schools and fire departments do too. The government's job is to protect its people, not adhere to 12th grade economics textbook ideology that shafts our country's workers. Ben Shapiro can call us communists all he'd like, we don't care. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so there's two really important topics in here. Number one is there's now a kind of a separation between the populist right and the corporate right. And I welcome that. Because the corporate right is, what do you mean? Corporatism is great. Yeah, of course. If you're not earning enough to earn enough for a house, that's your fault. You're being lazy, and you just don't like people who are more successful than you.
To be fair, neoliberal economic policy has really worked out well for the American people.
So, by the way, those corporate Republicans are, funny enough, very similar to the corporate Democrats, and they have more in common than they do with the populist right or the populist left. And so we believe in protecting the American people. People like Ben Shapiro and Hillary Clinton believe in protecting American corporations.
Bingo.
And it's not even American, they're multinational corporations.
Bingo.
And those are the people who fund them, whether it's in politics or in media. Oh, what a coincidence. So, but I don't think that it's as simple as Tucker's saying.
Okay, he has another option.
Okay.
He has another option. So first he talks about regulation, boring regulation. Is that really the option here, the real solution? He has a preferred option, and I want to read it to you. The preferred option is that President Donald Trump order a military strike on every data center in the country. AI clearly threatens the United States more than Iran, and the few people in Washington who care about regular citizens should stop this project before it becomes too powerful to destroy. Why exactly does America need AI? To make rich people even richer? To expand the wealth gap even wider? To twist the knife in the heart of the middle class as it desperately gasps for air? AI is fantastic for Wall Street, but it's terrible for average Americans. The latter should matter more. So like, where are you coming from, Cenk?
So here's the deal. So we've got an immovable object and an irresistible force scenario here, because there's no winning. So we have to brace for impact. And we've got to get ready for what we're gonna do after impact. The reason why I say that is, so is AI a disaster, Anna? Like in terms of employment, it's no question. Like, because if AI is successful, which almost everybody in the markets think it is, everybody in government, everybody in tech. So if they are right and AI is successful, they acknowledge it will wipe away tons and tons of jobs, tens of millions of jobs. But they're not connecting the dots. They all stop right there and they go, isn't it gonna be great? We're all gonna have robots cooking for us? No, not great at all. What are you gonna do with all those people? And when you ask them, they go, oh, well, universal basic income.
No,
wait a minute. A coder these days is getting between $120,000 and $200,000. At universal basic income, he'd be lucky to get $36,000. Is everybody gonna live on $36,000 a year? Or $24,000 a year?
Yeah, and look, besides that, Cenk, that's the most important point, right? About whether someone can live on whatever is gonna be offered up for universal basic income. If they do that, right? And we're making the assumption that that's gonna happen. We shouldn't assume, okay? But even if that does happen, I think that these people who plot what society is gonna look like, and they're all excited because they're gonna benefit from AI, right? They make this assumption that everyone who's not them doesn't care about being fulfilled, doesn't care about living a life of purpose, doesn't care about working for an honest living. And I'm here to tell you, most people do want that. Most people do feel good about doing that. So taking that away from them and just handing them some like measly check so they shut up and take it, and just accept what we've done, I don't think that's gonna bode well.
That's the second disaster. First disaster is unemployment. Second disaster is the stripping away of your dignity and purpose.
Yes.
And when that hits, they have no idea how angry people are going to be. So we're about to hit the biggest iceberg of our lives, and seemingly not a single person, again, outside of Ro Khanna, seems to recognize it in Washington. Ro's talking about, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna do a jobs program? Everybody's like, what do you mean? We're all making money on Wall Street. NVIDIA, baby. I mean, they're so clueless, it's sickening. Okay, so then wait, what's the other side? Well, the other side is, guys, we're screwed, because even if we stop doing AI, China's not gonna stop. South Korea and North Korea is not gonna stop.
So we bomb them.
I'm kidding. And by the way, if they get good at AI, they'll just take our weapons through the computer programs. So, and now, hold on, I'm gonna scare the living crap out of you.
Okay, okay, great. I'm looking forward to it.
A leading country in AI technology is Israel. We'll all be working for Israel if they win the race. By the way, if we win the race, then Israel will just steal it.
I have news for you. It's I mean, we've been working for Israel, whether you like to believe it or not.
I know, but then Palantir and Israel and AI combined, and this whole thing's over, okay? So guys, like China's not gonna stop, Israel's not gonna stop, so then we're screwed. We have to keep going, and we haven't even talked about the possibility that the AI could kill us all. And by the way, the very top guys in AI say that's their number one concern.
Look,
right?
Honestly, with the way things are going, that might be a good thing. Maybe they take us out of our misery.
Okay, all right. So now, what in the world are we going to do about this impending disaster? So some of it cannot be avoided. So we can have the debates about if you want self-driving cars or not. And I do. I think they're much better drivers than I am.
Well, I agree with you on that, but still, I would.
Okay.
I'll still take the ban.
Although if you're doing self-driving cars and there's a nefarious government that takes control over the cars, then you're in a different kind of trouble. And so, anyways, but there are bare minimums that we should do. So number one is data centers right now are spreading their cost to all of us. If they go into a town, they're increasing the electric bill for the entire town and not paying it themselves, but making all of you in that town pay for it. So if you've got a data center in your town, you're getting screwed royally, right? And none of your government officials are telling you that because they're all getting greased by the AI guys. So there's a couple of good guys as usual. Senator Chris Van Hollen from Maryland has a bill going, oh, no way should we pay for their data centers. He's like the new Bernie Sanders in the Senate, so that's good. So that's a small thing, but an important one. And then, but the main thing is we have got to get a gigantic jobs program ready. Because if all these people go out of work and there's no other option, we're gonna have pandemonium. So everybody's gotta get on this, we gotta fix it. We got to go start following the guys who are smart enough to realize what the problems are, like Ro Khanna and Van Hollen. And if you got guys on the right wing that recognize it, I'm all ears, right? Obviously here in this case, Tucker Carlson recognized the problem. I'm not sure his solution is the correct one, to say the least, in my opinion. But at least he recognizes the problem and wants to do something about it. So we're all gonna have to figure out how to do this because iceberg straight ahead. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.